what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Warriors Amongst Men, Spirit Amongst Flesh. As always, my name is Sam and I'm here to help you liberate from your flesh, define your purpose and live the life that you came here to live. And today, my friends, we're going to talk about Dolores Cannon and the free waves of volunteers. I want to be breaking down this work from my own perspective because although I have studied some of Dolores Cannon's work, I haven't really been that drawn to her information. I don't know really why that is, but so today I'm going to go through it from my own perspective, use my own intuition and just read the language of life in the way that I see it. So a small disclaimer, these may or may not correspond to what she says. If you have studied the free waves of volunteers, then you can let me know how accurate my work is to her work, and that might be further confirmation that what she's saying is true. But I want to just give you my own analysis on it, on what's going on and what the free waves of volunteers actually are. But with that being said, for those of you that don't know who Dolores Cannon is, a lot of her work has come through her QHHT sessions, which stands for Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique. She puts people into a deep state of hypnosis, and when they're in that state she will speak to them and they are recalling their past lives, right? And she's written, I think, about 15 books or something on, her work and what these people were saying to her. And obviously over the time, loads of different people were saying the same thing, so it's not really coincidence when thousands of people are telling you the same thing. And I've spoken about her work on my channel before. We've spoken about the New Earth, and she speaks about the New Earth split and the splitting of the timelines, and you can check out her videos. I'll leave them linked at the end of this video, the ones I've done on her work. Now, so what she's talking about by waves is that there's obviously a problem on Earth right now, and waves of souls have volunteered themselves to come here to help with the awakening process so that we can create harmony on Earth, because obviously there's a problem here. And so these souls are coming in as waves. I don't even know how long it's been going on for now, probably quite some time. But we are certainly not done yet, and I'd say we're coming into the second wave now. And I know many of you don't even believe in this, but let me know what your thoughts are then if you feel like you've transcended this work. But I certainly feel like there is souls coming into the earth that have new information to share with the world, and I would say that I'm one of them, and I know many of you will be also. I don't think you'll be drawn to information like this unless you were. So the first wave of souls that are coming through to help on Earth, I would call them the conspiracy theorists. And their job was to find out what the problem is. And one soul in particular that stands out is David Icke, and I've read a few of his books, and if you actually read his story, it's actually quite fascinating. He has basically been guided by spirit since his whole awakening process, and it's literally led him to information that would evidently allow him to write these books that some of them are like 500 to 1,000 pages long. And the information was presented to him in his life so that he could complete his talks and his information, his work, and share it with the world and find the problem, share that problem with the world in just one lifetime. I think he had his awakening at about the age of 38, and over the last 30 years he's been studying, finding out, and working 7 days a week on actually sharing this information with the world and trying to expose what the problem is. And he's not the only one. There's loads of people that are on the same wavelength and are doing exactly the same thing, and many people have got YouTube channels on exposing the problem in the world. David Icke, he explains the control structure in society really well in his books. I recommend his books. The pyramid of control, and obviously he says that the human race is at the bottom of the pyramid, the masses, and we're ruled by the sort of police and the military, etc. And it goes up the pyramid, and you get the government, and then you get the secret societies and the banking, and then you get right to the top, and basically you'll find the archons and non-human entities. And that was the first wave of volunteers to reveal this information and the control structure and the spell that is on humanity. And you cannot heal what isn't revealed. These people were very necessary, and I'm really grateful for their work and their information. Now we come to the second wave, because the second wave is us, people like me and you, and people that feel that they didn't really find the answer in these books. And not to discredit their work, because I feel like the first wave of volunteers, like I said, are here to reveal the problem, to find the problem and do all that, and they've done great work. But the second wave of volunteers are really here to deal with the problem and to be the answer. And all of these sort of conspiracy theorists, they've explained to us the surface level of reality of what's happening in the world, but then their solutions are very surface based also, with regards to how the information is really converted into a solution. If you think of like the iceberg model, if you see the iceberg, most of the iceberg is on the surface level of reality. Some of it is, but then the majority of the iceberg is in the unseen. You can't see it, and that is exactly what's happening in our reality. The visible light, what you can see with your eyes, is only 0.005% of the electromagnetic spectrum. Your brain receives 11 million bits of information per second, and then that filters down into 40 bits of information, and you see that as reality. That's your perception, meaning there's so much that we don't see and we don't know. And so what this tells us, if we look at the law of cause and effect, if we're just trying to find a solution by looking at the surface level of reality, then we're only looking at the effect level of reality. The surface level it's already happened, it's already here. It's the past that's already come into being. Whereas if you want to actually change the future, then we have to look into the unseen realms and the causal factors of what's happening. See, many people of the first waves, their solution is to sort of expose the governments and to just tell people what's happening. And even some people are calling to even kill the governments and stuff like that. Kill these people and all that. When in reality, what's happening is that there are the unseen non-human entities that have inverted the energies on the unseen realms, and then that is causing a signal, just like a frequency signal, just like how we've got 5 to the G towers casting a signal, just like a Wi-Fi signal, and it's inverting the energies. These archons, they can only invert energy. They can't create, so they have to just invert what already exists. So these people are still trying to find solutions by, if we just change the banking system, if we just change the government, if we just change, if we just wake everyone else up, that's how we do it. We'll just wake everyone up. Rather than seeing where the Wi-Fi signal is coming from that's inverting all the energies. And so this is really quite a deep subject, but the second wave is really here to deal with the problem, where it's coming from, and then people will wake up as a reflection of that. And the only way that we can do that is to realize that we live in a holographic reality, and there are non-human entities that exist beyond visible light. And when you stand in your light and you stand in your truth, and you really follow your calling in life by facing your fears and living the life you came here to live, you'll come face to face with these entities, and the way that you can come into face to face contact with these entities is either in like a dream state, and they can hijack your dreams like I've spoke about before, but also like in the film The Matrix, you get Agent Smith. They hijack people's minds like programs, and they try to dissuade you from making the right choices in life, and you're tested on a moral level. Will you stand up and speak your truth or not, or will you wear a muzzle? So really, the second wave, how we deal with these problems and how we deal with the main problem on Earth, which is the hijack from the Archons, is that we really need to learn how to stand in our light and in our truth, and to speak the truth, and to follow Source as it's guiding us, and it will guide us to direct contact with these beings. And then you cast out evil from the earth, and you speak your truth, and you basically become Harry Potter with your wand, and your wand is your body, it's your voice. And when you speak your truth, you are claiming back your land. So really the solution is about dealing with the problem in the unseen realms, and then the signal will change, and we won't live in the Truman Show anymore. And it will start to ignite the awakening process, because you can't deal with, like we spoke about in the last video of childhood trauma, you can't deal with problems on a holographic level. You have to go to the overhead projector, you have to go to the main overhead projector, which is the heart. And to heal the heart, the main attack from the Archons has always been on the heart, and the heart is a very interesting subject. It's a whole subject in and of itself. And really, because the hijack is of the heart, that's why we have to do the shadow work to really know what true love is, and to overcome our biggest fears, and to really learn how to speak our truth and do what's right, no matter how that looks on the outside, which is not easy. And that's what the second wave is here to do. We've seen the problem from the first wave. They've shown us what to do and what the problem is. Now we have to surpass our mentors and go beyond what their teachings are, no longer just be their students, but also be the teachers also. Because when we talk about waves of volunteers, what are these souls? What are souls? They're basically energetics, aren't we? We are frequency waves. And so even in the first wave of volunteers, they are bringing through a certain frequency onto planet Earth. The second wave, we're bringing through a certain frequency onto Earth. And really it's about getting in touch with that frequency. And actually I've just done a whole video on how to work with the new energy that is coming through on my Patreon if you're interested. And it's all about activating these superpowers that we do have. If you want to support my work, then the link is in the description box below to that video. And the third wave of volunteers is the next wave after us, and they are what I call the genius generation. Because think about it, the new children that are coming through now have got all this technology, and they are having this since they're born, right? I didn't get a phone until I was 14 as a crappy little Nokia. But they've got like the new Xbox Ones, and they've got all this technology like virtual reality headsets and stuff. And not only that, it's all inverted, because remember, these beings, they are just inverting the energy. So as waves of souls coming through, we come through with this certain energy, and they have to, their mind control is to invert it and turn it all backwards. So the third wave is what I call the generation of genius, and look at what they've done to the technology that they're being brought up with. Even the guy that created the iPad, supposedly, he won't even let his children have an iPad because of the radiation that comes off. What are we doing with the technology with these 5 to the G towers, right? They're giving off very harmful frequencies, and that's why we're seeing a rise in Satanism on the planet. And if you don't know what Satanism is, I've got a whole video on that on my YouTube channel, and in one word I'd say it is worship of the self and moral relativism, meaning that man gets to make up what right and wrong is. Right and wrong don't exist in nature, you know, and moral relativism is the new religion that is all around us. The new religion is Satanism, my friends. But the new generation of geniuses that are coming through, the third wave, they're going to be very intelligent souls. What they're going to end up doing is making ethical technology. You know, like instead of 5 to the G towers, we're going to have Tesla towers. And actually, frequency and how it works was very much revealed in the film, I think it's King Kong versus Godzilla, when they're using frequency waves to attack their opponents, and how powerful frequencies actually are. And so technology isn't a good or bad thing, but it's either a tool or it is very destructive to humanity. It depends on the user and how it's being made. And obviously these children are being born into very unethical technology that's very harmful to the brain, especially the radiation that's given off from phones and iPads. And then you've got children before their brains have even fully formed, they're using this technology. So really be aware of that if you know, around children. And really, we got to learn from our children. Children are the greatest teachers because they're very pure, and this is why they're trying to teach children about sex at school, because they're trying to tarnish these children's energy, you know. And we've got to allow them to be pure and teach us as well. And we can learn from everyone we meet, of course, which is why I want to learn from you. So let me know what your thoughts are on this in the comments section below. What wave are you, and would you agree with my interpretation of these 3 waves, or do you see it in a different way? Let me know in the comments section below. And also, if you'd like to work with me one-to-one, then I also do one-to-one sessions with people. And if you want to join me on Patreon and gain access to my exclusive content, then the link to my keys to the Kingdom account is in the description box below this video. And as always, thank you so much for watching, my friends. Until next time, peace and love, my friends.